Hello everyone. This week's meditation is called God Sees Our Hearts. I want you to think about a feeling we all get when we're asked to speak publicly in front of a group of friends, a school classroom, a university classroom, or is it a workplace, a church announcement, a testimony, or even something as simple as recording a message. That nervous, self-conscious feeling can make us want to shrink back and avoid stepping up. Even when we know we have something important to offer. It's easy to convince ourselves that we're not ready, we'll do it another day, we'll be judged, people will laugh at us. But we must remind ourselves that everyone feels that way at some point. But what if we saw ourselves through God's eyes? In 1 Samuel chapter 16 verses 7, it says, "The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." And I'll be honest with you, when I was asked to do this midweek meditation, my first instinct was to say no. I've never done anything like this before, and honestly, I'm not a fan of hearing my own voice on camera. It makes me cringe. So this meditation I'm sharing with you now is actually the first time I've ever done anything like this on camera. And let me tell you, I've definitely felt the nerves in the build-up. What made me feel nervous then? So, a lot of things really. I kept thinking, how do I look? What will I say? Will I say the right thing? What if I mess up? And being from Liverpool, I always wonder, how will I sound? But it's easy to get caught up in these worries, and I'm here to remind you that sometimes God calls us to step outside our comfort zones, even when we feel unsure. And when we do, that is where the growth happens. And in the midst of all that inner chaos, this verse from 1 Samuel really quiets my heart, because it reminds me that God doesn't measure me by what people see. He's focused on my intangibles, the things that people can't see, but God can see. And they're things like our motives, our intentions, our desires, our faith, humility, our sincerity. God sees our hearts. We don't have to perform or impress anyone. We simply just need to be honest before God and serve Him and encourage one another to speak the truth. This is what God values most. And in the book of Exodus, chapter 4, Moses experiences the same hesitations before becoming the leader of God called him to be. When God asked him to speak, Moses said that he hadn't been eloquent and he's slow of speech and tongue. But God reassured him in chapter 4, verses 12. "Now go, I will help you speak and I will teach you what to say." That promise is for us too. God doesn't call us to be polished or be perfect. He just calls us to trust Him, to step out in faith and allow Him to guide us. And remember, God is more concerned with our faith than our flaws. If you're stepping into something new, whether it's speaking at work, leading a group, praying out loud, recording a message, or even sending a voice note, remember this: your worth isn't found in how polished or perfect you sound, but in your willingness to obey and trust in God. It's about your heart and your obedience to Him, not about impressing others. So before your next moment of nerves, write this down, put it on your fridge, write it on your bathroom mirror, or just whisper it to yourself. God sees my heart. And that's enough. And it's just a reminder that God isn't looking for perfection. He's looking for our heart, your willingness to trust and follow him. And that's all that matters.